Блядь, пиздец, авария. Вот это уродно. Ай-яй-яй-яй. Черный, блядь, разбил. Ёб твою мать. Передо мной, блядь.
What the fuck is this?
Water coming in. Oh, and this car really thinks she's gonna. Oh, yeah, I don't think so. Oh my god, that was an accident.
I mean, she knocked the whole fucking rim off the tire. Yeah.
Do you need them? I don't know. Middle of the road. It's still wet. I thought it was going to stay. Yeah.
Drive northwest, then keep left at the fork.
Spectre alert.
Fucking Christ! Dude, I got bad news. Dad! The fuck are you doing? We gotta go somewhere. Where are you trying to go? You fucking hit me. I got you on dash cam. I got your fucking plate.
Keys.
You know where I keep my keys?
Is it in the little drawer thing?
Yeah, in the little drawer thing, and it's the silver key. Oh my god! Holy shit!
What happened?
Oh my god! A fucking accident
okay?
happened. Holy fuck, this guy! This guy was fucking racing and went between two lanes and just fucking slammed.
like... Fucking pay attention, dude.
Jesus Christ. Insane.
You can't just move. Like, just because you wanted it doesn't mean I'm gonna...
What the fuck? What the...
From 7, that vehicle's taken off. It's going northbound Washington through the red light. Southbound Oak Ridge, she's at a dead end. She cut through a cider right now, right in front of Alta Beauty. She's crashed into Alta, crashed into Alta.
बाहर निकलो बाहर निकलो बाहर निकलो
Pull right in front of me. Pull right in front of me.
moves in for the pit.
Attempted pit, failed.
He pits him again.
Another pit, successful so far.
Around and around the driver goes. And around he goes some more. And some more.
Better stop.
Until at last, he's pinned against the steel barricade.
All right, he's got him on the parkway.
The driver's trying to get out through the passenger window, but the barricade seems to be in the way.
Get out the car! Get out the car! Get out the car! Get out the car now! Get out the car! He's gonna get dogged. What the fucking hell?
Knew it was gonna happen.
Shoulders, U-terminal 7. All Follow Unit 2, clear your foot back around.
Okay, he's grabbing something out of the passenger seat. Look, he's a single occupant, speed 200. Still left lane, approaching Boulder.
You're grabbing something out of the front seat, speed 100 mile an hour, left lane, 12 away.
Now in the right lane, speed 105.
Right lane, speed 105.
Back through hit one. Almost did head on. We're going to be going eastbound wrong way. Eastbound wrong way.
Clear, eastbound wrong way, eastbound wrong way.
Westbound and eastbound lanes coming up to Fowlerville. Westbound and the eastbound lanes coming up to Fowlerville.
4012, get on that ramp and block it off. Sun is clear, westbound, eastbound lanes.
193, I'm in the left lane, eastbound.
Clear, eastbound left lane.
Going the wrong way, getting off at Fowlerville now, in the grass area.
Coming to Fowlerville.
Clear, coming to Fowlerville.
36, pit.
Pit.
Confirming pit.
Hit!